So I'm sure pretty much everybody is aware of the Easter egg called the Fly Trap in the map, such as the Giant or the older version as Die Glocke. But what a lot of people don't understand is that this has such a deep historical background, and that's what I want to talk about today. The Fly Trap is also referred to as Die Glocke in German, or the bell as it's transferred in English, and this is where the heart of our subject is going to be. During World War II, the German Third Reich was experimenting with a whole bunch of different elements and experiments to try to develop a Wunderwaffe, or a wonder weapon as we call it here in English, and this was something to ensure Germans' ultimate victory. There was a lot of documentation from this time period to show that the Germans were working with a lot of different elements to develop these wonder weapons, but no other experiment was the least documented such as Die Glocke was. This one has the lowest amount of actual solid evidence that we have, but this one is the most elusive and interesting. The most documentation that we have that is accurate is from a Polish journalist named Igor Witowski, and he wrote about this bell as he was around this during the time period and was communicating with other scientists about what was going on at these facilities. One of the main points about this device that he described in his work was to try to get the bell, or Die Glocke, to be an anti-gravity device. It was also meant to be used as a teleportation device through the use of free energy. Now this is basically creating energy from nothing, and this was just the way of Germany trying to create a wonder weapon that is so powerful and beyond any technology that the rest of the world has to make sure that they are guaranteed to win World War II. Apparently this machine was capable of a lot of things, and the scientists who worked on it actually ended up dying because of how powerful it was, but it is very unclear whether this thing really actually did exist or not. There is a lot of documentation to support it, however, there really is no way to actually prove if this thing is real or not because nobody has ever seen it in its full force and actually got it documented on camera. But there are a lot of word-of-mouth documents, and this is apparently the location where this was used to be tested on, but like I said, we can't really prove this if this was used to test Die Glocke or not. But this machine was claimed to be the ultimate device, and it is even claimed that this was used to create time travel in order for Hitler to go back in time and potentially change history. This is where things get a little bit sketchy because we think that Die Glocke was able to create wormholes in space. Wormholes are naturally occurring in space, and what their purpose is to bend the space-time fabric in order to cover a distance without actually having to go said distance. It basically bends it in order for you to travel a shorter distance, as illustrated right here. It is theorized that once Die Glocke was finished and once the bell was fully functional, that Nazi Germany was going to launch it into space in order to create a wormhole for potentially time traveling and changing and altering the past in order to make sure that Germany would win ultimately in the end. The bell was described to have extremely thick wires coming from either side that have the thickness of a human arm, as you guys can see right here. In the Giant, we have this pack-a-punch machine with these wires going to each one of the other teleporters, and you can see by the description that these wires match up exactly how that was. Along with these wires and the way it was set up and how it was powered was there was counter-rotating cylinders that were filled with mercury, a few other metals, and also a special liquid that was called Serum 525. Aside from their anti-gravity and teleportation features, there was one more experiment where they wanted to contact the Vril race, and they thought that contacting the Vril and getting them on the side of the Germans would indeed help them win the war and just be as an extra fighting force alongside them. But this is where a lot of theorists think that things go too far with people speculating about Die Glocke, and they don't think that they were able to ever contact the Vril race and everything that was made up about that is indeed false. They do believe that maybe this was used to try to create an anti-gravity device, and in the UK there was an anti-gravity device that was created that destroyed gravity by 50% in a similar way that how they're using for Die Glocke. So at the end of the day, it's very conspicuous and hard to say if this device was ever created because we don't have a lot of documentation on it, but what the documentation that we do have has some very crazy claims, and it definitely is supported by other ones that are out there. So basically, it is up to you to decide whether you think that this is real or whether you believe it or not. And if you do guys believe this, let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about this kind of stuff. You can feel free to do some research on this for yourself, but at least right now you know the history and the story behind the teleporters in Die Glocke and the Giant and why they are the way that they are set up. But I thought that this would be a very interesting topic to discuss with you guys, and it hopefully provides at least a little bit of an explanation into the backstory of these maps, and I hope you guys did learn something from this. If you did, guys, make sure to leave a like on the video, and if you did enjoy this kind of stuff, make sure to subscribe. Also, if you guys are new to the channel, I would appreciate that, but I hope you guys did enjoy this because I did work pretty hard on this video. But thank you everybody so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one.